look, we're in South Louisiana. Anyone who's got allergies, take this.
NAD is probably the biggest thing coming out right now on anti-aging. Normally, like when we're tight in here and you start getting that pressure and you're taking those joints and muscles through full range, this one feels almost addicting. So consistency over intensity. And then we're just going to roll up and down. It seems crazy, but when you go get massages and they're finding tightness in here, the first thing you need to do is start releasing this stuff. Kelly, thank you. You did the exercises last week and it helped a lot.
Oh, good day, my friends. I hope y'all are doing very well on this last Tuesday of September. Thank you for joining us. Please give me a wave, say hi, let me know that you can hear me. I was having some weird mic stuff, so let me know if my mic is coming through okay and y'all can hear. Welcome to Tea with Dr. D. I wish my tea is away from me. Actually, I'm going to show y'all. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I got this tea mug, and it is from like Zen Tea, and it has like the perfect little tea steeper that sits on top. It's my favorite tea mug that's out there. Shout out to Rachel. Thank you. This is my favorite Christmas gift. It is Tea with Dr. D. I come on here and answer whatever questions that we have, and I hope that this gives you some value. I want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out in the last few weeks. It seems like we've gotten more and more response for let's call it a newsletter. It's my Sunday thoughts. Every Sunday I wake up and jot down kind of thoughts from the week and conversations I've had, research I've reviewed, cool articles I've discovered, and I share that with everyone who wants to read it. People tend to get some really good information out of it and find some value in it. So thank you to everyone who has reached out on that. If you are looking for some good nuggets to start your week and like start a nice Sunday, we'll throw a link in here and get you a sign up to at least get that if you're not getting it already. But we're almost to October, and I'll kick this show off and let y'all know we have some amazing things coming up in October. So if you haven't heard, on October 31st, we are doing a Hope Healing fundraiser, we'll call it. On October 31st, all the services that we do at Hero Health Spa will go towards cancer. All the funds that we raise by offering services, all the services will be, technically run for free. So whatever money we would charge for those services, we're putting directly towards cancer. So there's a lot of reasons for that. I think cancer is a very near and dear thing to my heart, and I think we can continue to improve our outcomes, our identifying early stages of cancer, catching it. And so we've been doing this for years. It gets bigger and bigger every year. Please share that information out there. We want as many people involved. We're going to be doing food sales so people can buy tickets to come and get lunch. We're going to be doing as many things as we can. We have a lot of raffle items that other businesses, if you have businesses and you want to be involved in this, let us know. We're going to raffle off a bunch of amazing stuff. All of the funds that we get on October 31st are going to go directly towards raising money for cancer research, cancer treatment, everything involved in that. So if you haven't heard about that, October 31st, check it out. Please share that information as much as you can. We really want this to be a huge fundraiser and really affect a lot of lives. So with that said, any questions that y'all have, please let me know. I am here to answer whatever you got about health, healing, pain, regenerative therapy. So we'll dive in. Professor Al is going to get us kicked off. I know we had gotten some text questions you can text me and I will answer if I have time beforehand, or I will answer on this. If it's urgent, say urgent in there. But you can text 801-691-7582, and that comes straight to me. That comes to my phone. And if you get an answer, it's me. I will tell you, like, it's not going to be in the few seconds after, but within a day or so, I can usually get an answer out to it. So how long does it take to for vagus nerve stimulation to work? I guess we would have to define some things with this. Is like, what does working mean to you? When we look at it changing function, most of the studies on this seem to be in like the 2 to 6 week range. Now, there's a lot of new studies that have come out that show that when we stimulate the vagus nerve, we can certainly change heart rate variability. We can reduce systemic inflammation throughout your whole body. We can change mood. We can definitely create a better fight or flight response, sympathetic versus parasympathetic. Most of those studies showed significant improvements within 6 weeks. Now, if we're talking about systemic inflammation and bringing down inflammation of your whole body, in that situation, I would say, like, your body has some heavy lifting to do. This is like exercise for your nervous system. You know, yes, I want you to start exercising and start getting better, but the more you do it and the longer you do it, the healthier you get, the more benefits you start to see. Exercising your nervous system is no different. And I think in that situation, it's a good frame for this. So for some of our patients, we are working on this as a means to an end. They're getting, like sympathetic dysfunction. So they're getting dizzy, they're getting hot flashes, they're getting symptoms like POTS. And using that, the time frame might be different because the body's actually got to heal and change some nervous system stuff. But if we were just using it, normal, healthy person, hey, my mood's been out of whack, I've been stressed, I need to do some vagal nerve stimulation. Most of the studies are looking at like 2 to 6 weeks of some of that stuff. So very powerful. The research continues to climb. We keep kind of seeing better and better results with it. And we've seen a lot of changes from an inflammation standpoint. We've seen a lot of people with head and neck issues get much better by incorporating some vagus nerve stimulation. We do that under ultrasound. The vagus nerve runs down the front of your neck. It runs with the artery and vein, so we really want to see that. So we go in under ultrasound guidance, make sure what we're looking at, and then we do the same exact stimulation that the studies have shown the best inflammatory benefits. So very helpful. Most of what we see probably falls in that. Is after we've done about 6 weeks of it, we really start to make some traction and people start to notice some significant improvements. So great question. I think this is a field to keep an eye on. There's going to be some really big stuff that comes out on vagus nerve stimulation here in the very near future. What's the connection between headaches and jaw pain? Interesting question. This is something that we talk a lot about in our office. Obviously, other than it being very closely related, they have a lot of the same wiring. So a very interesting fact is that the nerves from the jaw and the upper neck actually go to the same nucleus in the brain. They go to the trigeminal-cerviconucleus. So the same processing center processes information from our jaw and our upper neck. And all those signals go into that nucleus saying, I have pain, I have dysfunction, and then it creates a response. Now, we would like our brain to be very good at identifying, where that signal's coming from, but it's not the best at it. And so a lot of times, whenever we get a signal coming in, we get like a mass signal going out where dysfunction at our jaw can actually cause spasms and an upregulation in nerve activity of our neck and vice versa. So when you look at the studies on this, like 70% of people who have jaw issues also report headaches. And we see that a lot in our office where the dysfunction at the upper neck relates to dysfunction at the jaw. And when we are addressing the muscle and nerve connection, We want to treat both of these things. Everything I have ever seen shows better outcomes for TMJ if you address the upper neck. I would like to see studies done where people who are having upper cervical pain, so like cervicogenic headaches that come from the neck, if we look at the jaw and improve the function of the jaw muscles and joints, if those headaches don't get better. I would bet a lot of money that if you improve the health of the muscles of the jaw in cervicogenic headaches, that you also see a significant improvement in symptoms and healing. So they use very similar nerves. The trigeminal nerve connects the jaw muscles, the face, and parts of the head. Tension in the jaw can create lots of compression here that can irritate the nerves and refer pain into the neck, and vice versa. Irritation of the nerves at the neck can create compression and restrict motion in the jaw and irritate the muscle of the jaw. So it's a very like feedback, feed forward relationship between the neck and the jaw, especially the upper like 3 segments of the cervical spine. So what I would tell almost everyone is if you are dealing with jaw pain, make sure you find a practitioner who's going to look at your upper neck, who's going to make sure that the structures, the nerves, muscles, and joints of your upper neck are healthy, and vice versa. If you have headaches or upper neck pain and you get a lot of tension here, make sure you at least get the jaw checked out. I'm not saying that every time you're going to have dysfunction there. I've seen a few people who it's like it's purely cervical dysfunction, it's purely neck dysfunction, but I would say 7 out of 10 times, I think that research is right, that if you have one, you have the other. And if you really want to get this stuff better, we need to address everything in there. So that's the main stuff that I would look at. I could get much nerdier on that for you, but there's a lot of muscle connections, joint and nerve connections. We want to treat all the systems involved in that to get it better. Hopefully that helps and makes a little bit of sense for you. How did you know you wanted to become a PT? What is your favorite part of the job? I don't live in your area. How do I find a good PT? How did I know that? People ask this all the time, and they're like, did you have a great experience? And to be completely honest, I did not. My first few treatments were not good. I dislocated a thumb when I was in high school, and they basically would make me go and sit in a corner at this physical therapist's office and play with putty. And they'd come and look at it for a second, and they're like, all right, you're good to go. It's still healing. And then my second time, I herniated a disc in my mid-back, and I went to a physical therapist, and they pretty much just kind of sat there and pressed on that irritated area. And I would leave feeling, kind of sore, and then it would just get worse and worse over the next few days. So I didn't even get a payoff for getting sore. I think that my healthcare background, it goes way back. My family's been in healthcare. My mom's in healthcare. My grandfather was a primary care physician. I think it was ingrained in us, and I wanted to match my non-rule follower nature with helping as many people as I could. And physical therapy seemed to match that really well. I could blend manual with education, with science, with nutrition, with chemistry, supplementation, peptides, technology. It was a very nice blend of getting people to live healthier lives. So I think somewhere in there, obviously, the stars align looking back is how it was told to me. And being able to impact as many lives and get people healthier has been my drive ever since I wanted to get into healthcare of some sort, even when I didn't know what it was. But I wasn't a big fan of just the kind of prescription procedure environment that was going on in mainstream medicine at the time when I was in school. And there wasn't as much of the functional medicine or any of those things out there. So, here we are. At the time, I think this was the closest thing that you could get to functional medicine years ago. And I think if you practice really well and you find a very advanced PT, you're getting a great blend of functional healthcare, physical medicine, hands-on treatment tons of physical education and health education. So all of that blended together is how I ended up here. How do you find a good one? I'll answer that real quick, Al. How do you find a good PT? This is the hardest question I get, because I get questions all the time from people who are not around us. The only way I can tell you this is to vet and have conversations of like what kind of training, what's their treatment philosophy, and then what does a typical treatment look like. So I think if you ask those questions, is like, what kind of education? You don't want somebody who thinks they know it all and they're not taking continuing education. Like I used to tell people, hey, can you send me the CV, like an updated CV of a practitioner that I'm thinking about seeing, and see what kind of courses they've been taking over the last few years. If you've gotten to a point where somebody's not taking advanced courses, I would go the other way. Somebody who thinks they know it all as fast as this field is changing, no way. And then meet them. You got to feel good about what somebody's telling you. If they come across and they're, they act like they, can fix everything, and they're telling you it's going to be, I'm getting you better in 4 sessions. I'm sorry, guys. The body doesn't heal like that. Your tissues can't heal like that. Yeah, if you wake up with a crick in your neck, maybe. But if you're dealing with, back pain, a herniated disc, and somebody's telling you like, they're selling you, goods of, we can get this better in 4 sessions. I would go find somebody who's going to be more honest with you in those situations. So you got to do a little vetting. I wish it was easier, but ask, what's the updated CV? How many classes have they been taking lately? What's their treatment philosophy? What's a typical treatment look like? And then meet them and feel it out. If you feel really good, move forward. If not, there's tons of really good PTs out there, and hopefully without too much bouncing around, you can find one. So I hope that helps. I know that's not easy. Does dry needling get rid of muscle knots? Does it work? Do you have any success stories, patient needle helping? Obviously, look, we're a clinic that does a lot of dry needling, probably more than almost any clinic that I've seen. We use that as one of the tools to address the healing process. When we look at healing, we dissect it. We try and break healing down into its individual components and then figure out the best way to address each of those components. So if I'm looking at healing, I've got a tissue component, I've got an inflammatory component, I've got blood flow, I've got cell component. Can my cells function? I've got an energetic component. And what we want to do is take the best things that we can and elevate each of those components to help people heal. The nice thing about dry needling is it addresses a few of those components at a time. We can actually get people's inflammation better. We can get tissue starting to heal. We can help the function of tissue move better. And we can improve blood flow. When we're addressing all of those in one treatment, that's really nice. What you're talking about with knots, like muscle knots or trigger points or what they would call it, is an energy crisis in the tissue where a muscle has contracted and it actually doesn't have the energy to let go. This is a little bit morbid for y'all, sorry, but rigor mortis, when the body stiffens up after we've passed away, is the process where we run out of energy, so we cannot unbind those muscles. It takes energy to get your muscles to let go. And if we are tight and we're restricting oxygen and blood flow to our muscles, we develop little trigger points in there. It's a great thing to do, to use a needle and go in and release the knots and get the trigger point to actually heal. This is the difference between like trigger point release with a needle and massage. The massage will do a really good job of loosening that tissue up and kind of helping get some blood flow in there. But it doesn't stimulate a new healing response so that the trigger point doesn't just come back. When you do it with a needle, you release it, you get blood flow, you get oxygen, you get rid of that kind of dysfunction in the knot. But you also tell the body, hey, there's a new problem here and I want you to come heal it. So our body sends all these healing agents to go heal that area. So it does help a lot getting rid of that. I think it's the start of a bridge to get us to more function. So if we get rid of those trigger points, our question is always going to be, why were they there? Was your body trying to protect you from something? And can we start to fix that underlying reason why the trigger point was there? So can we start getting you healthier, getting you stronger, getting joints moving better, creating more stability in the body? And if you do that, we take you from a trigger point that was bothering you and painful, not to just feeling better, but to being better. It is a healthier structure after that. So studies on dry needling have shown consistent improvements. It constantly shows that we're able to heal things faster than sham. We're able to get tissue to regenerate. We're able to reduce inflammation in the tissues. And we have seen, thousands and thousands of patient reviews that this is the best healing, the fastest healing that they've seen. So that's why we use it in our office. That's why dry needling, I think, has become such a big thing. I think I took my first dry needling class in 2008. And after I took it, I was like, this is going to be the next big thing. Like, this will help a lot of people. And I didn't realize that it was going to take, another 20 years before it got mainstream. But I am glad that it's out there. It does make me a little nervous. I don't know if every practitioner is trying to study it as deep as they need to help people as much as they could if they really learned this procedure. It's like every other procedure. You need to study it and practice it for a few years to really get good at it. I think now it's kind of a buzzword, so a lot of people want to say, hey, we do dry needling, and they kind of put that on the banner. But by and large, it'll help a lot more people than any negatives that would be associated with it. So it does help. Find a great practitioner who's gonna work it and not just like kind of do like put needles in and leave you alone. We want to make sure that they're like testing things and checking and making you retest and making sure it's moving, and after a few visits checking to see if that tissue is healthier. We're not of the like, just keep doing the same thing and at some point it'll heal. We think that you should see changes, especially from the function of dry needling, quickly as you're doing it. So hope that helps. What you got? What's the difference between dry needling and massaging? I think the biggest one is kind of what I said, is that dry needling is a healing activation procedure. Massaging is going to kind of loosen that up. And look, if it's acute and it's like you just woke up and stuff's knotted up and it needs some blood flow, getting a massage can do a lot. I love them. We tell a lot of our patients to go get massages. But if it's unhealthy tissue, your body needs a stimulus to tell that immune system to turn on and to go send healing agents and helper cells to start breaking down any damage and rebuild healthy tissue. You're just not going to get that immune response from a massage. So that's the biggest difference, is that dry needling actually tells your body to turn on a healing process. Great paired, to be honest. These two are like, they're not pitted against each other. You put these two together, you get needling, tell the body to go and heal it, release some energy in the trigger points, come behind that and get a massage and get blood flow and oxygen into that newly released tissue while it's trying to heal. Gangbusters. It does a wonderful job when you put these two together. So slightly different in effects, but both of them will work very well in synergy together. So, I'm a big fan of all of that. What does dry needling feel like? Get some patients on here. What do y'all think dry needling feels like? I think most of the people ask, like, does it hurt? And what I'll tell people is, like, if we're getting in an area that hurts, whether you touch it or move it, then dry needling is an extension of that. So if moving it or touching it hurts, then there may be some discomfort with dry needling it as well. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where if we're going to stimulate change in your body, healing, we have to do something to stimulate change. We have to create a healing response in there. And so we do need to get in and stimulate healing by tricking the body a little bit to go in and turn on that healing process. So that the discomfort people feel after dry needling is actually a good thing. It's their immune system activating and starting to respond to that stimulus to send healing agents there, helper cells, cytokine cells to go in and kind of break down and build healthy tissue. So, to me, it feels like you kind of get tapped occasionally with like a toothpick, and then when you get to like that deep restricted tissue and there's a release there, I think it feels great. I know that sounds weird, but it's like that's exactly it. The it hurts so good term could not apply better than whenever you have a deep knot and dry needling releases that knot. I think it's one of those things that it gets there. You're like, that's exactly what I need. I need that. I can tell that that's something that needs to be changed. So, I think about 2% of people are so sensitive that dry needling can't be used. It's like every procedure. It's not going to be perfect for everybody. I think there's probably 50-60% of people who are like, yeah, it's not like it feels fine. When you get in these real painful spots, I feel it, but it's okay. And then I think you have a few people who are like actively like this feels really good to me. I had a patient today. She was like, I love it. It feels great whenever I get my extremities treated. She's got some nerve dysfunction. She's like, when we treat it, it feels so much better. Like, I think the process of the treatment feels good. So you kind of get a wide range of that, but in general, you feel like a little light toothpick taps you, and occasionally, if you're working on kind of trigger points or muscles, you'll feel some deep releases where those muscles let go almost in real time. So very good, very helpful in a lot of cases to stimulate a healing process and give people as much as relief as we can. We try and pair it with as much regenerative agents because you are turning on the immune process. And if you pair something like dry needling that has a healing stimulus with regenerative processes, whether that be technology or peptides or supplements or stem cell, you can really use it as a great adjunct to stimulate tissue regeneration and heal and avoid surgery because we're healing new tissue. So I think the synergy, y'all probably, if y'all have paid attention to this, y'all hear me talk all the time. The synergy of this stuff is where I get excited, is how we stack and put the right pieces in the right places so that people can really get great results. So, yep, that's my thoughts. Any questions? Anything else y'all got? Yep, text me, please do. 801-691-7582. I will answer them, I promise. It might not be that very moment, but I will answer. And pay attention and share out our October Halloween for Hope fundraiser. We're going to raise a lot of money for cancer. We're going to donate as much as we can, and we're going to have an awesome day. We're going to have costume contests. We're going to have food. We're going to be running sauna, cryotherapy, infrared, laser, whatever you've wanted to do. Come on that day and do it, because we're going to get a lot of people here to help raise a lot of money for this amazing cause. So please share that out. Keep an eye out for it, because it's going to be a really great day. We're going to raise a lot of money. So I hope y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all for joining me. Thanks for all of the questions, everybody who submitted questions. Shoot us a text anytime in the future, and I will talk with y'all in a month. So we're going to be October 28th. I will see y'all. Be here, and I hope y'all do one little thing to get a little bit healthier tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.